Okay, so this is my game. It's like the game of life, except Greek themed, like Greek god themed. I have in my code I have my random seed, and I have my board initializer. So inside of board, we call all of the other everything else we need to call, and we have our initializer or our constructor. It just handles player count and then calls new game. New game. Uh, Wait for player input, initialize tiles, and then it'll handle character selection and everything that goes with that. Uh, then we display the board, wait for player input, and then start the engine. The engine, uh, what it does is we check if the game is over. If game is over, we stop playing. If game isn't over, we go through each player, and if they're not finished, we play their turn. So play turn runs for each player, checks what type of tile they're on, plays their turn. That's pretty much it for board. I have my basic tile stuff. Pretty basic stuff here. Pretty self-explanatory, and then I have some IO stuff. Tile.cpp, kind of basic, but also not what was recommended. I have my tile type. The constructor just handles the tile type and update text. Update text takes the tile type and update color updates a color based on the tile type that was just assigned, and that's just one of these color codes. And then it checks if players are on it. If players are on it, it assigns the correct text with the player plus player plus player. So whatever players are on there, it'll write them down in order. And if not, it's an empty tile. And then it reassigns a new basic text and then new ANSI text with the color code, the basic text, and the reset color code. That's basically it for tile for player. Pretty basic stuff, just getters, setters, modifiers. I have the die roll per player, so I could assign them new dies. Player training and print stats. The main thing that's different is I hold location, the trained boolean, and the finished boolean inside of each player, and that's basically it. So now let's test out the game. So we choose our player. We'll choose Odysseus, train with the gods, and we'll choose. I like Hades. He just steals from other players, steals points. Choose Hercules, and we'll not train. So we just roll our die and then move that amount. And player one landed on a good tile, so we just gain some points and some wisdom. On a good tile, you just gain random stats and points. So player one landed on a divine tile. Divine tiles, any player at or above the random stat chosen for the player that landed on it gets the stat boosted, and they get yeah. And that's for any player. And the kind of opposite is true for the chaos tiles. They're exclusive to the untrained path. They, if you land on them, any person with a stat below the chosen stat for player 2 will get that stat reduced. So good tiles are the main tile on the board. So there's bad tiles too. So player 2 just landed on a bad tile, just the opposite of a good tile. You get reduced stats. Player 1 went, player 2 went, player 1 landed on another divine tile, and this time it increased mana. Player 2 landed on an event tile. So event tiles, you can either trade some points for a stat boost, or you can choose a new advisor. We'll choose a new advisor, and we'll choose Artemis. Artemis gives you a new better die. Another divine tile. Unfortunate, the other player didn't have stats to meet the requirement. some more good tiles. Okay, so we landed on a chaos tile. That's good. All players less than wisdom stat for player 2 loses points. So it looks like player 1 had a good enough wisdom stat to not lose any points. Another bad tile. So it looks like player 2 won first. Player 2 gets 500 points for finishing first. Now it's just player 1 that has to play. Landed on a good tile. And now he's done. And all players are done. So that's it. That's all of our stats are outputted, and it looks like player 2 Hercules won. So that gets outputted in our results. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching.